Good morning, everyone. Let's come to the edge of the chair and let's take a minute to feel how we're sitting on the chair and how does the two sides, the sitting bones, or we may call it the feet of the pelvis, how are they coming in contact with the chair? Can you feel one side pushing into the chair more than the other side, or vice versa? And now we're going to roll backwards a little bit and notice if there is a bony part or is it rounding and rolling very, very smoothly, and then very gently come back up until you find the tip of the sitting bones. They have a name, ischial tuberosities. So those tuberosities, you can roll behind them and you can roll on top of them. And I find it super important to be able to do this, because if we just sit in one position for a very long time, the muscles are kind of getting, they lose their elasticity. And if we can just move very tiny, let's just move where you barely see, but you know, then suddenly there is movement inside your hip area, and I call it a dynamic sitting, where your spine is starting to push blood up and everything can feel a little bit better. But that needs to be done. I mean, not forget and not just do it once a week. So if you're in your room and you're on the computer or you're watching TV, you can sit and just kind of rock. Tiny, tiny little rocks. And from the center, now we're going to rock forward, like we're spilling soup out of a pot, and bring it back to the tip of the sitting bone. And pour, and stop pouring. And pour, and stop pouring, and forward, and center, and back, and center, and forward, and center, and back. And now we're going to go straight to forward, and straight to back. And as you're doing it, put your fingers very gently on your neck, and feel, see, kind of be a detective to see if you can feel the muscle of your neck moving just a tiny little bit as you are moving the pelvis. When your pelvis is backwards, your eyes may go a little bit higher than the horizon. And when your hip is forward, your eyes may go a little bit towards the floor. And your neck might have just a slight movement. That connection between the tail and the head, looking at the spine. At the end of the spine is the tail and the head is the top. They go towards one another from the back, and they go towards one another from the front. Or is it so? Actually, it's not, right? When I go with my pelvis back, my head goes up, so my tail is in between my legs. And as I go forward and my head is down a little bit, my tail goes towards the back of the chair. And so let's just do this for a little bit longer until it becomes nice and easy. You look down a little bit and the tail goes to the back of the chair. You raise your eyes a little bit and your chin, and your tail goes between your legs. And head goes down and tail goes back. And head goes up and tail goes between your legs. And let's do it a few more times. Head down, tails back. Head up, tail between the leg, Let's do it one more time. Eyes and head goes down a little bit and tail goes back. And eyes go up and the tail goes in between your legs. Keep your pelvis turned backwards with the tail in between your legs. And now bring your head down. So now the head and the tail are trying to reach one another from the front. Really, really small. And now bring the tail back and the head back. Now you're arching your spine a little bit. And now you're rounding your spine and the head and the tail are getting closer from the front. And now you are lifting your head and you are sending your tail backwards and you're arching your spine a little bit. And they are reaching to touch one another from behind. And forward on exhale, inhale up and reach behind you on exhale. Inhale, come to center. Please try not to make it hard exercise, just to find the movement and the pattern. Find how your nervous system can become really easy with these two possibilities. This is the second possibility. The one was going in opposite direction and now we're going towards one another. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, exhale, inhale, release the arms, release the pelvis. And just take a minute to breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. Let's put the fingers very gently again behind the neck. And keep your head without movement. Now don't allow your head to move. Try to keep it stable as if you had a rod coming up from the center of the head. And round your spine underneath and come back up and push your spine forward and come back up. Try not to move the head. It's not so easy. And I'm sure that you know some people that look like that, right? When the spine is round but the head is trying to look forward, because that's very important for us to keep our eyes forward. And keep the eyes forward, keep the head in the same place and move the spine forward. And move the spine back. And move the spine forward. And in the beginning it's not easy to make all these different combinations. It's like putting different puzzles together. But that enriches our vocabulary of movement in the body and in the brain. The head is not moving, but the spine is moving. Notice if you're still breathing, or is the effort to make you stop the breath. See if you can continuously breathe. You can take your hands down and continue moving the spine, but not the head. And let's do it one more time. And release it. Take a deep breath in. And let it go. And just move the pelvis and the head whichever way feels normal to you. What does your body wants to do? Now you have no instruction. You just do what feels correct to you. And notice, try to analyze it. Is my head and tail going together? Are they going in opposition? And stop in the center. and rest. Pa-pam, 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 pa-pam. We are going to move to your left side of your pelvis, allowing the other side to lift off the chair, and then you're going to move to the right side, my left, your right, and allow the other hip to kind of come off the chair. Notice how the ribs are getting close to one another. We're shifting from side, finding center, shifting to the other side, and finding center. Now allow the head to go to the side you're going towards, and center, and allow the head to drop to the side you're going towards, and center. And head goes to the side that you're going towards, and notice how you're losing your balance, and it's not easy. That means that your nervous system doesn't feel good with it, does it? You are falling to that side, this hip is already up, your head is heavy. So now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to move to your left, and your head will go to the right to counterbalance. And we're going to try and sense, what does it feel like? As you're going to your right, your head will go to your left. And again, we're not exercising to reach and see how far you can go. We're trying to find out how to organize the body in movement. So you may go just tiny little bit like this. Finding how the spine is organizing itself around the movement. And that may give you even better information that, okay? I love big movements and I like to work hard, and it's very difficult for me to make smaller movement, lighter movement, where I can observe what is going on, so then I can make the bigger movement a little bit easier. And now we're not going to take the head anymore to the opposite side, we're going to keep the head in the center. And we're going to try to feel, what does this feel into the system? Can you feel that there's a lengthening a little bit in the shoulder, between the shoulder and your ear, on the side that you're going towards? And it's always good to have more vocabulary, more ways to say things, more ways to do things. So now let's see what the legs are doing. As we are going to your right, if you want to keep yourself in the center in balance, and you're not allowing your head to go either this way or that way, can you push on your left foot to find that balance? And let go. And now you're going to go to your left, and you're not going to do anything with the head, not to the right and not to the left, but you're going to push your right foot into the floor. And feel how it anchors you. And it's like putting a stake into a tent. So you're shifting, and the opposite side strengthens. And let go. Center, shift, and push with the opposite foot. And now quickly up, quickly up, quickly up, and shift and anchor, shift and anchor, shift and anchor, and rest. Take a deep breath and open your legs a little bit wider. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to shift to your left, anchor your right. Center, shift to your right, anchor your left. I'm taking the chair with me a little bit. So if that happens, then put your hands to stabilize yourself so you're not falling with the chair. So you're going to your right and the left leg's anchor. You're going to your left and your right foot anchors. And hop, and hop, and shift, and shift, and shift, and rest. Keep the legs pretty much wider than your hip, a little bit, and put your hands above your knees, but the fingers are pointing inwards. Let's round the head down and round the back and go down with the hands along your lower legs as far as it feels comfortable, and then roll up as you inhale. And as you exhale, roll down. And as you inhale, roll up. And as you exhale, round, round, round. And as you inhale, inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And 2 more times. Exhale down. And inhale up. Put your hands in the same place, right above the knees, on the fleshy part, fingers in. And now lean, kind of lift the torso up and lean forward with a straight back, and elbows are pointing out, and you're leaning as far as you can comfortably, and push with the hands and come back up. Lift your torso, elbows are strong, hands on the legs, and you're leaning the spine, straight spine, in between your shoulder blades, in between your shoulder blades, and come back up. I'm going to do it behind so you can see maybe. Leaning forward with a straight back, and the shoulder blades are flat, coming either not moving or coming inwards. Some people like to do it this way. I like to keep my shoulder blades as wide as I can and still work on the muscles in between them called the rhomboids. They look like Christmas trees. And exhale and lean forward. Elbows are really strong. Hands are supported on the legs, and the legs are supporting your whole structure. And inhale up and come to center. And up and exhale, and again, you do not have to go far, but you do have to come up and fold yourself into 2 right where the underward sit, the line between the leg and the hip, the lingual ligament. And notice where your eyes are going. Are they in the direction of the head? Are they below? Are they above? And play with it. See which one will give you better results. Exhale, going forward, folding yourself into 2. Think that you're really, really thin, like a 2 pages of a book. And inhale up. And exhale. And inhale up. And one more time, lift the spine and fold yourself into 2. Let's stay here and just do tiny, tiny, tiny little bounces. Pum, 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 pum. Like you barely feel them. You don't really see them. You just barely feel them. Internally bounce, 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 bounce. And now stay with your arms really strong. And right here, round your back. And right here, straighten your back. Right where you are. The hands are working really hard. If I let them go, I'll fall. I really rely on my hands. And round your spine right there. Tiny little bit, as much as you can. Go as low to the lumbar as much as you possibly can. And straighten, straighten, straighten the spine 1 vertebra at a time. I'll do it to the side so you can see. So we are in diagonal, and right there, rounding the spine as much as you possibly can, and straighten the spine, going 1 vertebra at a time, trying not to skip any part of your spine. And notice what your eyes are doing. Once again, let's round, 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 round. And let's straighten up the spine. And if you're working really hard with your hands, you're really feeling it. So now we're going to come up and we're going to release the arms. Very nice. I want to try to do the same thing, but a little bit lower. And so we're going to exhale, going down, not more than halfway. Hold on to the legs. And right here, see if you can straighten your spine, or how much you can straighten your spine. That pushes it a little bit further. Your pelvis has to really reach backwards. And now round and round and round and round. I'm going to do it to the side again. So really tilt the pelvis forward, 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 so your belly button is almost touching the chair. At least it feels like that. And right there, round and round and round and round and round. And come up, because it really is not so easy to do. Right? Rest for a minute. We're going to try it again. But rest for 1 sec. And inhale. And on exhalation, round your spine, hold on somewhere to the middle of the lower legs. And right there, the pelvis is tilting forward, your belly button is reaching to the floor, and your spine is straightening. Your head is lifted a little bit, and round and round and round and round and round and round and round. Let's do it one more time. Flip the pelvis forward. Belly button is aiming towards the floor, and you're straightening up the spine into a beautiful arabesque line. And last time, round and round and round and round. And with your hands, walk up your legs to sitting up straight. Okay. Take a minute to center. Pa-pam, 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 pa-pam. Let's do just a little bit more with the rounding of the spine and the lengthening of the spine. We're going to take, we're going to take our arms to one side. So I took my arms to the left, that's going to be your right. So my arms are parallel to one another. I'm going to round my back on the diagonal, and I'm going to push this hand into my leg, and I'm going to try to lengthen the spine until my eyes are looking at the horizon. On an inhale, exhale, rounding the back. Inhale, press the arm into the leg. I'm really pushing to be able to come up. Exhale, rounding and rounding and rounding. And inhale, pressing with the forward arm so you can come and come and come and come until your eyes at the horizon, looking forward. Exhale and rounding all the way from the pelvis to the lumbar, to the middle of the back, to the head and the neck. And let's do it one more time to this side. Pressing the pelvis forward and climbing up one vertebra at a time until the eyes are meeting the horizon. My shoulders I'm aiming to 180 degrees, and release. Come to the center. Feel the difference between the two sides. And let's bring the arms to the other side. My right, your left. Remember, the front arm is pressing against the leg. The leg is not moving. And rounding. Arms are parallel. Round, 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 round. And from here, press and start climbing with the pelvis forward, with the lumbar forward, with the mid-back forward, in between the shoulder blades, neck and head, which is the eyes. And exhale and round. And inhale, coming up. And on the exhale, round, starting from the pelvis, going to the lumbar, going to the mid-back, and all the way to the eyes, head and neck. And inhale, the pelvis is going forward, and you're creating this beautiful line up your spine, and you have beautiful open shoulders, and rounding. And just one more time. And inhale, round your pelvis forward, and keep on coming, 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 up, 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 and exhale and release. Coming to the center. Pa-pum, 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 pa-pum. And I'll tell you a secret that many times I know how I want to start the class. I never know how it's going to end up. So that's it evolves, and I really listen to my body and what I see, and that's how I kind of like put it together. So I thank you very much for being part of it, and I'll see you next week.